All right, man, peace. You know, brother, sometimes in life, particularly if you have one of those quiet or quote-unquote enigmatic personalities, you may become that quote-unquote man of mystery that people try to attach this air to as someone who's unapproachable or hard to speak with, difficult to communicate with, or what have you. But oftentimes, normally, there'll be somebody there in your environment that you vibe with. And what will happen is they'll pick that person that you vibe with to act as an intermediary between you and everybody else. And that seems to be the case with Mr. Danny Green of the Toronto Raptors. There's no doubt in my mind that one of the reasons why Masai Ujiri wanted to have Danny Green included in the Kawhi Leonard trade is because he understood that he perceived Kawhi Leonard as being a relatively enigmatic or unapproachable personage. And I think that he believed that there may have been some communication issues with Kawhi in the locker room, not knowing him very well. I'm pretty sure that he heard through the grapevine that one of the few players that Kawhi liked to communicate with was Danny Green. So he said, you know what, let's make sure that we have Danny Green included in this trade. And that's going to afford Danny Green a certain amount of visibility, because even to this day, I think that the media does not quite understand how to approach Kawhi Leonard, because he's not as transparent as they're accustomed to most of their NBA stars as being. But that's good for Danny Green, because it will afford him certain avenues and certain inroads where he'll probably make more money because of it. So anyway, he sat down with Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman and Molly Karam to tell all on his experience with the Toronto Raptors, as well as being the quote-unquote sidekick of Mr. Kawhi Leonard, who in my view as of right now is the slight front runner in the MVP race through about 25 games. So they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Getting buckets. On that note, we welcome in Danny Green as a part of ESPN's Raptors All Access Day. Danny, thanks so much for hanging with us.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate you guys.
Tremendously underrated player in the NBA, in my opinion.
With the right team, he's extremely valuable. He would be great on the Warriors as a bench player.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Just trying to, keep fooling teams to keeping me a roster spot,
All right, let's talk about it. You got a big game tonight. Obviously, the 76ers, we can't wait for that. But talk to me about your game day process, the preparation, because I hear it's a unique one.
It's really not that unique. I come in, get changed, I shoot around, maybe get a little treatment here and there. We'll walk through other teams' plays, walk through our plays. And then after, I eat some breakfast. Usually some scrambled eggs and pancakes. I'll go home, take a nap, take out the dogs first, take a nap, wake up, get dressed, eat again, and then, come here for the arena and, get some treatment and work done and then get on the court.
Even that?
Danny,
Nothing
I'm sorry, Max. I apologize. I thought you was gonna go. But Danny, first of all, it's good to see you, bro. It's been a while. It's good to see you. I'm watching you now, and you're shooting 43% from you're shooting 43% from 3-point range. Your career 39% shooter from 3-point range. Talk to me about what this season has been like for you, being in Toronto, compared to what it was like for you all of these years in San Antonio.
It has to be more pleasant in Toronto than San Antonio without that damn abusive, sadistic bastard Greg Popovich chewing his ass out every game, because Danny Green was Popovich's old whipping boy. That's what I'm telling you. That's one of the reasons why not only Masai Ujiri wanted Danny Green, but why Pop agreed to let Danny Green go, because he's like, why the hell do I need Danny Green here in the locker room? Remember, Danny Green was one of the guys who, after the Spurs tried to organize that meeting where they basically tried to sandbag Kawhi, where all his teammates tried to put pressure on him, Danny Green was the one who tried to defuse the situation over Twitter, claiming that it was not really about, the meeting was not actually about what the media was reporting it was about. And it became very clear to me that when I saw how Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili were projecting themselves in regards to their energy towards Kawhi, it was very disparate and different from what Mr. Danny Green was projecting, the energy that he was projecting. And I'm sure that Popovich picked up on it as well and decided that Danny Green was a turncoat. He was not a strict adherent to the quote-unquote Spurs way, which is Greg Popovich as the proverbial Jim Jones, the cult leader. Everybody else had to fall in line and drink the Kool-Aid. And if you were not ready to drink the Kool-Aid, you have to be kicked off of the island.
It's a lot different. A lot more freedom. Last obviously different in pace from the last 2 years in San Antonio. Our pace was a little slower. I don't like to talk about the percentages too much. I don't like to think about it. But we're playing in a good flow, a good rhythm. I'm able to get out and run, get some open looks, and my teammates have done a great job all the way down the line, from Kyle to Kawhi, Pascal, pushing the pace, drawing double teams, and finding me on the weak side. So I'm able to get some good open looks and into some rhythm shots. So it's been a lot of fun. Nick Nurse has been great with drawing up some plays for me here and there, and allowing us to have freedom on offense and defensively. Taking in our opinions and theories and what might work against certain people. So I think we're all having a great feel and get on the same page and learning each other. And I think it's going sooner and faster, and we're a lot ahead of schedule. Progressive wise at this point in the season.
It's going to be very interesting to see how well and how strong the Toronto Raptors finish down the stretch of this season. They've gotten off to a pretty fast start. What I like about them is they have great length on defense. What I mean by that is not only are their defenders tall with long arms, they also have great feet. They're very fast with their feet. Siakam, Ibaka, of course Kawhi Leonard, Danny Green. They should be trouble defensively for every team that they face, especially when they want to throttle up the defense down the stretch of close games in the fourth quarter.
I think, to pick up where Stephen A. left off, to me you're like a sneaky important player in the fortunes of a team throughout a given season. Like, for example, with the Spurs, I thought there were several seasons. If Danny Green really balls, if he has a good year by his standards, the Spurs are going to be a problem, right? Same thing in Toronto. If Danny Green is really defending well and hitting those open threes, it's going to be a problem, and you've done it. So can you get into a little bit more of why this is a good Danny Green season so far, and consequently your team is in first place in the Eastern Conference?
Probably because more is being asked of him. In San Antonio, their offense oftentimes is so equal opportunity that if you're not somebody who Popovich wants to have the basketball in their hands or draw plays for him in particular, like a Kawhi or a Ginobili or an Aldridge, somebody like that, Danny Green might only get 3 or 4 shots in certain games, and then another game will come where he gets 15 shots.
I honestly couldn't tell you. I just think more of, more freedom and a fresh start of, being a...
Absolutely. In other words, more freedom in the offense in Toronto. They're giving you the basketball more.
City, enjoying new teammates, a new locker room, and just having fun with it. I'm enjoying the process as much as I possibly can. And mentally, when you're in that type of frame or that mindset or that, that state, it allows you to just play freely and have fun and hopefully play at your best. And right now, things are going well. Obviously, as a shooter, the life of a shooter is up and down. So I know that there's down times coming, but I try to limit those as much as possible by staying focused, locked in, and doing what I can defensively on the end of the floor. And I think when I'm locked in defensively, it allows me to play better offensively.
What about the fact that you came with Kawhi? To me, that was a big kind of getting Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green. You're getting both those guys. What has it been like to play with Kawhi then and now in Toronto?
How many times is Max Kellerman going to ask the same question?
It's definitely been a great aspect for both of us, I think, especially for me. That guy obviously makes the game easier for everybody. Draws double teams, finds me, but it helps when you have a comfortability with somebody, playing with them for so many years, and then on the offensive end of the floor, him finding me, knowing where he's going to be, he knows where I'm going to be. That makes things easier. And defensively, so many years we've been together, we try to take pride in being the best defensive wings in the game.
And you guys are. There's no doubt that Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green, they're the best defensive wings in the NBA. It's going to be very interesting to see how they fare against Golden State in their matchup out there in the Bay.
Trying to carry that over here. Obviously, we're not as young as we used to be, but we still feel like we can hold that end of the floor up and be the best defensive wings, especially in the Eastern Conference, and if not, the NBA. And that's what will help us win games more so than the offense.
Kawhi Leonard is clearly, just one of the top 5 players in the game of basketball. We know how elite he is, and so nobody's going to question his game. But there were a lot of questions about him last year because of the 9 games only that he played with San Antonio. We all know the noise that came with it. You were one of the people that came out and spoke in his defense when everybody was throwing the shrapnel of criticism in his direction.
Exactly. That's why Greg Popovich packaged his ass over to Toronto along with Kawhi.
Talk us about Kawhi Leonard and what his mentality is like this year, being in Toronto as opposed to being in San Antonio. How happy is he now compared to the teammate that you were dealing with last year?
Well, Kawhi, you never really know.
Danny Green goes over and tells Kawhi a joke, and then 30 seconds later, Kawhi goes, Kawhi's like that dude from Predator, Billy. Remember the Native American dude? He just started laughing mad loud at a joke.
Emotions, he doesn't show him much, but I think I wasn't the only one to defend him. A lot of people there defended him. That's just the way, the nature of the game, and the organization there in San Antonio. Everybody tried to back him up as much as they could. Here, same way, but I think he's definitely more comfortable. He seems like him, so he's just becoming more of a leader, more vocal than I've seen before in the past. And I just think that comes with maturity, and I guess so being able to feel and play like himself, and actually being healthy again. He's.
In other words, as I've been saying, and Danny Green is verifying that, in the Toronto Raptors offense, Kawhi Leonard is allowed to show more of his abilities.
Definitely back to a state or a playing or physical level that he is feel comfortable with, and playing at a great pace for us right now, and helping us get to where we are right now.
Danny, speak to his level of happiness in Toronto, because obviously so much has been made about the fact that he's approaching free agency and he might want to leave, but Toronto's a fabulous city other than when it gets cold. How happy does he appear to be there?
To me, he appears very comfortable and very happy. He likes the city. Obviously, it's not the San Diego weather, but he's enjoying the fans. The fans are amazing here. But I said I don't want to get people too up, too down. I mean, whether I say it or not, people are going to get excited about it. But I think he really feels at home. He really likes it here, and is enjoying his time, especially with a new team and with teammates in the locker room. And Nick Nurse is the head coach. He's allowing him to do so many different things more and draw up some plays for him. I think he's pretty happy and comfortable, especially the fact that we're winning. That helps too.
Danny, Masai Ujiri has put together.
Let me say this before Max Kellerman finishes his question on Masai Ujiri. I think that how well the Toronto Raptors play, how many games they win in the regular season, where they finish in regards to their seeding, is going to have a major impact on Kawhi Leonard's decision whether or not he chooses to re-sign with them. I think that pretty much they have to win the championship in order for him to come back. I really do. Because I think that after this season, Kevin Durant is going to leave Golden State, and that's going to open up the opportunity for the Golden State Warriors to target either Kawhi Leonard or Tobias Harris to try to replace KD. So Toronto is going to have to win the championship, most likely beating Golden State, to get Kawhi to come back. But who knows? I might be wrong.
Multiple teams that are really deep. He did it in Denver, where they had 10 guys who go run you out of the building. Not really high-end talent on the team, but it was tough to go there and win. They almost always won at home. And now he seemed to have done it again in Toronto, but this time with Kawhi Leonard as the best player on the team. What are aspirationally this season? People look at the Warriors and they go, boy, they're unbeatable. Who's the best of the rest? How do you guys see the challenge of this season, not only in the Eastern Conference, but ultimately, obviously, you hope to get to the finals?
The challenge of the season is for them to get to the finals, Max Kellerman. You already answered the question. They already know that they're not going to be expected to beat the Warriors. So, of course, he's not going to get on television and say, we're going to beat the Warriors. I'm sure that in his mind, they're building up to the level where they think that they can compete with Golden State. But he's not going to get on TV and say that shit, Max Kellerman. Come on.
Well, we know that we have a lot of potential. We have a lot of great pieces and young players on this team. The task and the challenge is to getting those guys ready for when that time comes around. We can't just look ahead or skip any steps and think, we're going to absolutely make it into June. We have a lot of good teams in the East here as well. We got to continue to fight and mature, be able to beat the Phillies of the East, the Bostons of the East, the Indianas, the Milwaukees, who are playing extremely well. And then, be prepared. Hopefully those, if we do make it out, be prepared to play against, that beast in the West. So, but I think if we continue to progress, communicate, and get these young guys mature enough I think we're more than capable enough to do it.
Danny, your teammate Kyle Lowry sat down with our Rachel Nichols, talked to him about a number of things, as you just mentioned, his relationship with the GM. Okay, perfect. We want everyone at home to hear a little bit of the interview, and then we'll all react to it. Take a listen.
Okay. How would you define your relationship with Masai Ujiri right now?
He's the president of basketball operations, and that's it.
In other words, you still upset that he traded your boo thing away. I mean, this is so pathetic. First off, brothers, let me say this. And this is a hustle that gets ran on many people in corporate America. Not just the so-called black man, of course, but everyone in corporate America. This bullshit about this is a family. We're a family here in this corporation. The reason why they propagate or why they put forth that notion or that sentiment is to get you to be fully invested in making sure that you give 110% in your role. The way that you would if you were trying to do something for your mother or your father or your sister or your brother. That's why they do it. And you're a damn fool to believe that. When you work for a corporation or any other business entity, your job is to play the same game that they're playing. You're going to lie to me and smile? No problem. I'm going to shake my head and smile right back to you. Just make sure that you give me my money. That's it. But when you decide that you're going to actually believe that bullshit, you're a professional NBA player, and you're going to buy into this notion that we're all here as a family, you're a damn fool. At the end of the day, a great GM is going to trade away his best commodity if he can get something back. Danny Ainge will do it, Bob Myers will do it, Daryl Morey will do it, and Masai Ujiri will do it. And Kyle Lowry is going to have to get over himself because the Raptors are a much better team than they were last year. I'm sure in the front of his mind he's going to say, well, if DeMar was still here, we'd be 21-5 just like we are with Kawhi because there's no LeBron and, this would be our chance. No, this was a great trade, and obtaining Kawhi Leonard is really going to give them the opportunity to push for a championship. Like, they have a real chance to win a championship. They would not have had that with DeMar DeRozan, because pairing DeMar DeRozan with Kyle Lowry, no disrespect to either one of those brothers, but you have the most psychologically unstable backcourt in the history of the NBA.
For me, I come out here and do my job.
That's an answer that leaves a lot of room for interpretation.
Hey, that's what. Listen, they're gonna do it anyway. He does his job, I do my job, right? That's what you do.
That's where you guys stand.
That's where we stand.
Danny, your reaction.
What are they gonna do Danny like this for? Danny, I'm doing you guys a favor. I'm gonna take a time out in my morning warm up, to give you guys 10 minutes of my time, and you trying to hit me over the head with a sandbag.
Yep. Kyle, Kyle. He keeps it real. He's not going to sugarcoat anything. But I said I don't know the terms or the inside scoop of their relationship. Regardless, Kyle's going to compete. Masai's going to do his job. Everybody else here is going to do their job. And then regardless of what Kyle said to me, he's going to take it and blow it out of proportion, whether it's good or bad. Like you said, it leaves a lot of room for interpretation. There's going to be interpretation, regardless if he said something good or bad, but.
And then Masai has the opportunity to upgrade at the point guard position. Kyle Lowry asks him to be traded too.
Kyle's going to give you, his real honest answer. That's how he is. That's where he's at right now. How he feels. I don't know how Masai feels, but I'm sure that relationship will continue to grow.
Will continue to grow frostier as the winter approaches. That's how their relationship is going to grow as the winter approaches. Danny Green is going to continue to grow frostier.
Any other?
Danny, let me ask you this, because Kyle Lowry and I go back to his days in high school in Philadelphia. I covered him in high school. I covered him in Villanova. We go back almost 20 years, and he is as real and authentic as it gets. He ain't scared at all. He's going to let you know exactly where he stands, and I think we saw it right there. But when you look at Kyle, can an argument be made in your estimation as a champion, as a player in this NBA for many years yourself? Can an argument be made against him that because of his miniature size, that there's a legitimate concern as to what kind of impediment that could be towards your success come playoff time? Because when you're going up against a guard as tough as nails as he is miniature. Do you worry about that at all when you look at competition, particularly within the Eastern Conference?
No, not at all. Kyle is, to me, he's one of our best post defenders. regardless of his size. You know, he's tough, like you said. He's a pit bull, and he ain't backing down from nobody. He's going to continue to fight, push, grit, grind, and he's going to compete regardless of who's on that floor or how big they are. And he's a great defender, you know, and he's going to, on the opposite end of the floor, whether he's making shots or not, he's going to make plays, whether it's taking charges or, you know, jumping vertical on the fast break and making teams turn the ball over. He's going to push the pace and create for his team. He's playing at a great level, high level right now, and finding people, averaging 10, 11 assists a game, which is amazing for us. You know, we just get out and run, he finds us. So regardless if he's scoring the ball or, you know, defensively they have a mismatch with the big, I have no doubts in Kyle, and I'm not worried at all.
Danny, appreciate the time. Big game tonight. We can't wait. And congrats on all your success so far this season. I know it's just the beginning, but I think you guys are going to do something special.
Thank you.
Great to have you.
Same. Good to see you.
So that's pretty much it on that. We'll see how things turn out this season for the Toronto Raptors. I do believe that the sky is the limit for them as long as they don't suffer any catastrophic injuries to any of their mainline players. So peace.